this project, I will produce an ethnographic documentary through the means of observing, documenting, and commenting on the live public setting of the concert space in relation to fan activity and fandom culture. To do this, I will be using my own experience, the experience of others that have been a part of this space, and the works of sociological theorists. I will be using my own images throughout this presentation to portray the personal impact that fandom culture and the concert space has had upon my own life. These personal images also show the interconnection that a group can share that is separate to the rest of society and therefore cannot be experienced as a generalized group, but is instead made up of personal and individual accounts of first-hand witnesses. The concert space is a uniquely separated sphere. On the outside to the unknown, a concert venue may just be a building. However, eyebrows are raised and questions begin to be asked once a line of awaiting fidgety people begin to form, identifiable as a coherent group in branded merchandise and the singing of the same songs. The concert space is one of chaos, unpredictability, and mysticality and separation. The concert casts an audience into darkness. With anticipation and excitement, the crowd is launched into something that can be described as dreamlike dysfunction. Some concerts are peaceful and seated among strangers who share the same experience as you. Others are non-stop movement and sensory exertion. The consumption of music is continuously changing. From once only accessible to the highest in society, we now have the availability in a wide range of artists through free streaming sites. Ruth and Stichel argue that culture capital and the key features of educational attainment, the enrollment to the arts through classes, and the public participation of the individual's parents that will be of influence to one's consumption of music in the live concert space. However, Ruth and Stichel also suggest that it is not only the information and behavioral influence that changes the likelihood of concert attendance, but also the consideration of what is considered high, middle, or lowbrow genres. The cultural capital factors explained are especially considered with that of highbrow culture, or what can be expressed as highbrow genre, such as classical music. Economic and social factors and the individualistic value can also be a way of determining the changes in consumption between individuals and in the consumption of one's own music, whether public or private. Privately, a person may listen to a wide range of artists and genres. With streaming platforms such as Spotify, many more have access to music in despite of distance, cultural background, or preferred taste. Restrictions to public consumption is highly related to economic factors. The recent developments in the appearance of My Chemical Romance is evident of the financial dedication that fans have to an artist. The band disbanded in 2013 despite their large fan following. Last December, they would play their first show in 6 years. Tickets sold out in under 5 minutes even when purchased at almost $200. I will be researching the personal accounts of how ticket prices influence attendance to a concert. Many smaller artists rely on the sales of their merchandise to enable the production, distribution, and consumption of their music. In this film, I will explore the different meanings that merchandise can hold. I will develop an understanding of what Turner calls social skin in relation to the personal connotations that individuals hold towards merchandise. By outwardly presenting a person's interest through the purchasing and wearing of merchandise, an in-group can be created. With this mutual interest, a community can be formed. Durkheim also notes of the concept of the sacred and the profane. What may seem like an ordinary t-shirt to one person, to another and a larger community is a sacred object that connects aspects much larger than just clothing, as in reference to seeing the strange in the familiar and Durkheim's thinking of belonging and a community. With this film, I will note of my own experiences with these concepts, as well as investigating the thoughts of others. Networks are built indirectly through the recognition of such social skin and outward presentation, but also through online communications. I often attend concerts alone and so have the opportunity to meet new people that have a shared interest. I will be adapting the work of Bourdieu and his concepts of economic, cultural, and social capital to the contemporary experience of fan culture and the concert space, along with Durkheim and more contemporary sociologists as Turner and Gard Hansen. This documentary will be observing in the context of contemporary media, meaning that Gard Hansen's thinking of the ways in which individuals archive their memories is important. With the impact of online worlds and communities, concertgoers are sharing the events of their offline worlds online, creating potential security issues with the sharing of identities and location, but also personal documentation of the lived experiences and relationships. I am producing this documentary to give a visual representation to societal experiences and sociological understanding. The field of sociology is heavily dominated by the written word. While this is incredibly important, I believe that in documenting and researching society, a holistic picture must be drawn, so perhaps the external world should be encapsulated in film. This documentary will take the form of a visual ethnography featuring my own personal images and videos that I have accumulated over the last 4 years of attending concerts. I will be interviewing other concertgoers and fans of live music to present a variance in opinion and experience. These interviews will be recorded in the preference of the interviewee, either video recorded, audio recorded, or transcribed. Quotes and clips from these interviews will be interjected among my own captured images. I am using an observation perspective to present ideas within this documentary. I have chosen to use this style of filmmaking as it allows for an audience that has not been a part of these spaces that I am documenting to experience the thoughts, feelings, and environments surrounding what it can be like to be a fan in a concert space. This documentary will take on an anecdotal and personal perspective, whilst also featuring the thoughts of others, including concertgoers, fans, and sociologists. The style of my film will rely heavily on contrast, be that the visual difference between the black background of the stage and the white spotlight of the performer, or audibly through the sounds of the concert, such as shouting, cheering, and singing, in comparison to distinct voiceover, explaining and analyzing what is being shown on screen. This contrast also expands between the artist and the audience. The focus is usually drawn forward on stage, however, I aim to explore the experiences of people around me in the audience. Therefore, I will redirect focus to the crowd in visual representation and through their own thoughts and feelings by showing the audience. All images will be taken and recorded from my own mobile phone, creating a personal and candid look. While this film is a reflection of my own experiences, it is not one about myself. I am using a voiceover and images that show my perspective to give sight and explanation to the environment of the concert space. I have chosen to display my individual experiences in this way as to not completely withdraw from a feeling that the audience is being taken out of the simulation of the concert space. With this documentary, I aim to portray and analyze the personal experiences of fans in a concert space. I will present my thoughts clearly through a voiceover and interviews, alongside images of my own experience within these settings. My film will be based in ethical consideration of the public and private space, acknowledging filming regulations and consent. I want to represent what is usually a secluded experience to a larger audience, with a basis in sociological understanding.